An East Division clash today from Red Wilson Field. The Whitey Red Sox and the Harwich Mariners set to battle in an early but already hotly contested East Division race here in the Cape Cod League. We're live at Red Wilson Field. Brian McLaughlin and Andre Sims. Ominous clouds hanging over Red Wilson Field today, Andre. We're going to try to squeeze it in. Set for a doubleheader between Whitey and Harwich, but rain is in the forecast. Going to try to squeeze it in today, but in what has been a wet month of June here on the Cape, looks like we're going to see some raindrops at some point today.
Yeah, you know, the rain just kind of kept creeping up as to when it was going to hit. Originally, this game was originally supposed to start at 2. They bumped it to 1:30, and then the rain just kept creeping up with the start time, and so we'll see if it holds out. Hopefully it will. We've already had a host of games get canceled already, so fingers crossed.
Starting to even sprinkle right now as we speak outside, Andre. The expected starter today for YD was going to be Jack Leftwich from Florida, but now it looks like Brady Corrigan is going to go on the mound for the Red Sox in Game 1 today. Eric Tolman expected to start Game 2. We'll see if we end up seeing him at all today. The expected starter on the other side of things for the Mariners was going to be Buddy Hayward, but we'll see if he is still the man on the mound once we get started. If we get started here from the Red Sox, rain really expected to start falling at 1:45. Should have been a good pitching matchup. We'll see what we end up getting. Yesterday was a great pitching matchup. The Red Sox won 2-0 over the Bourne Braves, Andre. It was a true gem on the mound from Trent Denholm in what is likely his final start as a Whitey Red Sox, and then John Beller out of the pen was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really argue with just 2 hits allowed over 9 innings. Both of them had 1 each, and it was dominant. Beller had the breaking ball working, and it was missing every Bourne bat. Denholm, as he does so well, induces soft contact, and no one was able to barrel him up at all. It was an exceptional day on the mound for both of them.
The Whitey offense has dominated the show, however, in this early season for the Red Sox, carrying at times the pitching staff. 67 runs scored through 11 games for the Red Sox. That's first in the Cape League. Looking at this lineup today, Andre, who are you looking for that could potentially shine once again at the plate?
This is probably the strongest top of the order that we've seen from the Whitey Red Sox this season, and we talked about a lot how there's depth in this lineup, and you're getting a lot of production from the bottom half of the order, but you look at the way this lineup is set up with Noah Campbell, Andrew Eister, Austin Wells, Riley King, Jack Wold as your first 5. That is a lot of thump, a lot of power, a lot of RBIs, and also a lot of very talented hitters. And so that first 5 could be in for to do some damage tonight.
It's been a crazy close Eastern Division to start this Whitey season. Chatham currently sitting in first with 15 points, and then it's Orleans, Brewster, and YD, all tied at 13 points. Harwich at 6-6 has 12 points, so the Mariners just 3 points back of first place, but they only have 1 win less than Chatham so far in this season, Andre. What's it going to take to separate for any of these teams in the Eastern Division right now that has been so tight?
It's got to come down to pitching, and I think that's why Chatham has already been able to separate itself in the early going this season, is that they have the depth of the pitching staff, and we've seen Chatham twice already this season shut down this very high powerful YD lineup, and that is also why YD has struggled in some games. Reason they haven't been able to close out some games because they've had struggles in the bullpen especially, and so pitching is really what it's going to come down to going forward.
Speaking of pitching, we're going to have a quick change from the Mariners on the mound. No longer Buddy Hayward targeted for the start. It's Caden O'Brien, the lefty from North Carolina, expected now to make the start for the Mariners on the mound. Rain continues to fall. The managers are meeting at home plate. Hopefully we have baseball for you coming up next. Andre and I will keep you posted as we move forward throughout tonight's ball game. We'll be back hopefully with first pitch on the Whitey Red Sox broadcast of the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Red Wilson Field, Brady Corrigan is on the mound for YD as we get set under some light rain. It's pretty steady out there at the moment. We're currently dry up in the broadcast booth, but currently Corrigan set to get things started as he tries to make his 2019 debut with the Red Sox. Who knows how far we'll get into this one. It's game one of the doubleheader, so only 7 innings for a full game. Still need 5 innings to get an official game as we try for the first game of this 2019 season between the Red Sox and the Mariners. The Mariners have only played twice against the Eastern Division. They're 0-2 against Eastern Division foes so far as the Red Sox look to improve to 3-2 inside this East Division so far in the year. Harwich looking to get back above 500, coming in at 6-6. YD looking to improve to 3 games above the 500 mark. The defense for YD today behind Corrigan. Noah Campbell's in left, Sam Hall center field, and Jake Palmer in right. The infield has Riley King at the hot corner. Drew Swift and Gavin Dugas are the double play duo, and Jack Wold mans first base. Austin Wells does the catching for Corrigan today in the Arizona battery on the mound. Arizona State with Corrigan and Arizona Wildcats catcher Austin Wells behind the plate. The lineup today for the Harwich Mariners, leading it off will be Jacob Hurtubise. Batting second, Joey Weimer. Daniel Cabrera from LSU bats third. Nico Cavadas is in the cleanup spot from Notre Dame. Christian Fedko from UConn bats fifth. Michael Ludwig bats sixth. Patrick Winkle, another UConn prospect, will do the catching, bats seventh. Cameron Thompson bats eighth. And Hal Hughes rounds out the order in the 9 spot, playing shortstop today for the Mariners. Steady rain continues to fall, a spattering of umbrellas up and down either baseline for the fans. But we're set for some baseball momentarily here from Red Wilson Field. Towing the rubber is Corrigan from the windup. Here's the first pitch to Hurtubise. Fastball misses outside for ball 1. Corrigan used primarily in relief this season for Arizona State. Led the team in innings pitched out of the bullpen. Led the team in appearances, the 1-0. Misses high and tight to the lefty Hurtubise. 2 balls, no strikes. 51 1/3 innings pitched on the mound for Corrigan this season at ASU. The 2-0. Squaring to bunt. Misses upstairs to Wells, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. Red Sox in their home white uniforms. Red caps, Red Sox in red right across the chest. Now the 3-0. Misses high and away, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Hurtubise to get us started here from Red Wilson Field.
Walk, something not a major issue for Corrigan and ASU, just 28 in just over 51 innings pitched. Not a very high volume walk guy. Does have 65 strikeouts in those 51 1/3 innings as well. So high volume strikeout guy. And like you said, only 2 starts this season for Tracy Smith in Tempe. So interesting if this was something perhaps that Smith wanted him to do, was get stretched out on the Cape, work in more of a starting role, or potentially this is just a byproduct of the rain.
Now the righty, Joey Weimer from Cincinnati. He'll take a first pitch called strike as Corrigan finds the zone for the first time. Corrigan 6'3", 205 on the mound from the stretch. Long dark hair coming out the back of his cap. Weimer stands straight up and down at the plate. The 0-1 misses high at the eyes, a ball and a strike. Top of the first inning here from Red Wilson. Man on first is Hurtubise. Weimer hitting a solid .321 in this pretty young season still for Harwich. They're playing in their 13th game. The 1-1. Called strike on the inner half to Weimer. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Daniel Cabrera on deck for the Mariners. They're in their traveling navy blue tops, red numbers, gray pants with a blue stripe down the side. Corrigan sets. Here's the 1-2. Chopped softly foul up the first baseline, and we'll see another 1-2 offering from Corrigan. Weimer with 1 home run so far this season. It's a Harwich offense that has struggled to string things together. They've scored 36 runs. That's 8th so far in the Cape League. Less than half the amount of runs this YD offense has scored. Corrigan sets. Hurtubise leads from first. The 1-2. High and away to Wells, and it gets to the backstop. Past Austin Wells. Large turnaround second, almost halfway to third. Goes Hurtubise, but he'll jog back after the wild pitch from Corrigan.
And you saw Corrigan there immediately go to his pants, trying to dry his hand off. You wonder if the wet ball already starting to play a factor.
Doubleheaders scheduled all over the Cape today. We'll see how many games do get in with the rain expected to be pretty steady throughout today. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Weimer. Corrigan delivers. Swing and a miss. First out in the top of the first inning. A swinging strikeout to Joey Weimer. And there's 1 down. Still on second is Hurtubise.
From Louisiana State University. Number
1 down for Daniel Cabrera. Cabrera 3 for 10. He scored 3 times, hitting from the left side against the righty Corrigan. Infield, playing Cabrera to pull. Dugas deep in the hole at second base. Swift holding the runner. First pitch to Cabrera, misses outside, ball 1. You can see the rain starting to drip off the metal poles just out in front of us. Steady, we'll see how the playing surface holds up here at Red Wilson Field. Corrigan comes set, but he'll turn and look at second. Back is Hurtubise. It's a Harwich team that likes to run on the base paths. They have 16 stolen bases. They've only been caught stealing once. Tied for the second most steals in the Cape League with these Whitey Red Sox. But they've been efficient with only the 1 caught stealing. The 1-0. Hit in the air on the infield. Drew Swift actually now retreats into shallow left center. The shortstop settles for YD, and he makes the catch. Pop out to the shortstop Swift for the second out here in the top of the first. Still scoreless between YD and Harwich.
It's good bounce back ability there from Corrigan. In the games that we've seen YD struggle, and especially in the games we've seen YD's pitching staff struggle, it's because they've fallen behind hitters and are forced to work back into the counts. Corrigan's fallen behind a couple with the leadoff walk, had a 2-0 count there on the last hitter, but was able to work around it and get back and get the out.
Now Nico Cavadas hitting .281 on this season with a home run for the Mariners in the cleanup spot. RBI opportunity for the Notre Dame man. Hurtubise leads from second with 2 outs. The first pitch from Corrigan. Skied back behind home plate. Wells gave it a peek, but it's out of play. No balls and a strike to Cavadas. Hitting from the left side, 6'2", 230 at the plate. Corrigan sets on the mound right on the middle of the rubber, the 0-1. Off-speed called strike from Corrigan. Hit the outer part of the plate to Cavadas. It's 0-2. Called by our home plate umpire, Tom Carey today. Mike Beal down the first base line. Currently standing right around second is David Perry. He'll have the calls at both second and third. Corrigan sets. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss from Cavadas. 2 strikeouts in the frame for Corrigan. That's the 3rd out of this first inning. Harwich leaves 1 man aboard. No hits, no runs for them in the frame. Home half of the first coming up next on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Red Wilson Field, bottom of the first inning, Caden O'Brien out on the mound for the Harwich Mariners as YD gets their first licks against the lefty from North Carolina. Spent this past spring pitching for the Tar Heels, just finished up his sophomore season. This year in 2019, O'Brien made 28 appearances, had a 4.11 ERA. Now for the lineup he'll face today. Noah Campbell, the switch hitter, leads it off for YD. Andrew Eister, his teammate at South Carolina, bats second. Austin Wells, with his 3 home runs, is in the 3 spot. Riley King out of Georgia is in the cleanup hole. Jack Wold bats 5th. Jake Palmer 6th. Gavin Dugas back in the lineup batting 7th from LSU. Sam Hall's in center field today. He'll bat 8th, and Drew Swift rounds out the order batting 9th. First pitch to Campbell, off the plate inside, and it ticked off the shin of Campbell for a hit by pitch, and he'll trot down to first. Both teams get their leadoff man aboard in the first inning as we're in the bottom of the first. Scoreless between Harwich and YD. And with nobody out, it's Andrew Eister at the plate and the speedy Campbell on first.
I really am wondering how the wet ball is affecting these pitchers. We're seeing O'Brien take a long time to really rub up that baseball, try to get any grip that he can on that right now, and that one just looked to get away from him.
Steady rain continues to fall here at Red Wilson as now O'Brien, the southpaw, looks in at Eister batting from the right side. First pitch, fastball, belt high, strike 1 to Eister. The defense for the Mariners today lines up as follows. Joey Weimer's in left field, Jacob Hurtubise is in center, and Daniel Cabrera from LSU's in right. Cameron Thompson at third base, Hal Hughes, another LSU Tiger, at shortstop. Now the 0-1 to Eister. Misses high and away, a ball and a strike. Christian Fedko completes the double play duo up the middle with Hughes. He's at second. Nico Cavadas holds on. Noah Campbell currently at first, and Patrick Winkle behind the plate catching O'Brien. A ball and a strike to Eister. O'Brien kicks and deals. Off speed, a called strike. Upper part of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Eister. Campbell still on first. These two South Carolina Gamecocks have had great success early in this season for YD. Eister hitting at .462. Campbell is 7 for 14 at the plate. The 1-2 from O'Brien. Misses in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's blocked by Winkle. Campbell has to stay at first. The two Gamecocks have highlighted the top of this lineup. Last year, of course, Campbell, the team MVP, and now Eister making a name for himself as one of the best bats in the Cape League, tied for the league lead in home runs. The 2-2. Campbell takes off, misses high and away. Campbell's going to be in time at second base. He beats the throw from Winkle. The throw was low, picked by Fedko in front of the bag. Campbell slid to the backside of the base and was able to cling to the cushion out there at second. He swipes second base, and there's a man in scoring position now. 3-2 count to Eister.
Yeah, it ended up being inadvertently almost like a pitch out. It was a great pitch to throw on for Winkle behind the dish. Just couldn't get it there on a line. Probably would have had him beat had he gotten it there in the air.
Full count now to Eister. Harwich had a man in scoring position in the top half of the first inning. And now YD looking to jump out in front. The 3-2. Eister check swing, dribbles it down the first base line, foul ball. Stays alive, 3-2, no outs, bottom of the first. O'Brien, the lefty, peers in now looking for a sign from Winkle. O'Brien from Maiden, North Carolina, making his debut on the Cape for the Mariners. Sets, looks at Campbell at second. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Eister line drive right side. Over to get it on a hop is Fedko at second. Throws on a run to first to get Eister. Trailing into the outfield grass to make the play was Fedko. Campbell advances up to third base now with 1 out. Productive out from Eister, moving up his teammate at South Carolina. And on third with 1 out now, Campbell for Austin Wells. Wells had an 0 for day yesterday in the 2-0 Red Sox win against Bourne, facing the lefty O'Brien. First pitch foul tip from Wells into the glove of Winkle. It's 0-1. Week 1 of this Cape League season, Wells was the Cape League Player of the Week, highlighted by a 3-home run day in the doubleheader against Katuitt. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Wells over the top of a changeup from O'Brien. It's 0-2. Wells hitting .265. The average has dipped over the last couple ball games. Now the 0-2. Grounds it foul up the first base line. Another 0-2 coming here from O'Brien. Tough matchup for Wells as he sees another lefty on the mound. It feels like that's all YD's seen recently. Lefty started yesterday, Mac Lardner from Bourne. The 0-2 from O'Brien. Misses at the eyes for ball 1 to Wells. A ball and 2 strikes.
And in addition to being a lefty, he also has a bit of a natural deception and different movement in that he comes right over the top when he delivers. It's a little bit harder to track the ball out of the hand when it's coming from directly above as opposed to a high 3/4.
O'Brien sets. Here's the 1-2. Wells rips it through the right side. A base hit. That will score Campbell. Austin Wells drives home the first run of the day for the Red Sox, and they're on top 1-0 in the bottom of the first.
Good piece of hitting right there from Austin Wells. Simply just went with the pitch, shortened up a little bit. He wasn't seeing the off-speed pitch too well early in the at-bat. Made the adjustment, got a pitch he liked, drove it through the right side for an RBI single.
Right through that 3-4 hole between Cavadas at first and Fedko at second. And now he's aboard with 1 down. Riley King at the plate, facing O'Brien. First pitch to the righty, King. Misses high, ball 1. King, 6 for 13 so far for the Red Sox. He's starting at third base today. He has 4 runs scored. He would score the deciding run last night. The 1-0. Fouled away by King out of play, a ball and a strike. YD, who has seen so much success from the offense, relied on small ball last evening in the 5th inning when they scored on back-to-back safety squeezes. King scored on the first of those in a bang-bang play at the plate, but the catcher Gazzo couldn't hold the ball on the flip home, and King, barreling down the line, was able to knock it free in what would eventually be the game-winning run for the Red Sox. The 1-1 from O'Brien. Fouled off again by King, a ball and 2 strikes. Wells on first, 1-0 YD in the bottom of the first inning. Eastern Division matchup here in the Cape League as rain continues to fall at Red Wilson Field. The 1-2. King grounds it left side, rounding it Thompson at third. He'll throw to second, there's 1. Fedko's relay to first, not in time. Fielder's choice for King. He's aboard now with 2 down as Wells is forced out at second. And with 2 outs, that brings up Jack Wold with his team on top, 1-0.
From the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
This is a guy with a lot of power, Andre, and he's still recovering from a bit of an injury. Fractured a bone in his wrist hand area late in his season at UNLV. Still kind of recovering from that injury, but he can really swing it.
Yeah, you were talking to him pregame about this, and as such, he's had to make an adjustment with how he grips the bat in order to keep the pressure from causing too much pain to that broken bone area.
First pitch cut on and missed from Wold, and for a hitter, that area around the wrist hand, that can be painful to swing the bat. Here's the 0-1. Right down the middle, called strike, 0-2 now to Wold. He hit a home run all the way back just over 2 weeks ago now in opening day against Katuitt for the Red Sox. One of the team leaders in average who qualified for the batting title at .313. The 0-2. Fouled off by Wold. Just able to get the wood to it over the Red Sox dugout. Stays 0-2. King on first with 2 down. YD pushed across 1 run already in this first inning. O'Brien sets. Now the 0-2. Wold grounds it right side. Cavadas fields on a backhand at first. 2 easy steps over to the cushion at first base for the 3rd out of the frame. YD strikes first as Noah Campbell crossed the plate on an RBI single from Austin Wells. They leave 1 aboard. It's 1-0 Red Sox through 1. This is the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the second at Red Wilson Field, it's 1-0 YD over the Harwich Mariners. Fedko, Ludwig, and Winkle due up to face Brady Corrigan back out on the mound in his second inning of work. Rain has slowed down a bit, still coming down outside, but it's more of a drizzle now than the steady bit of rain that was coming down throughout much of the first inning. Whitey pushed across a run in their bottom of the first. And now Corrigan working with a lead for the Red Sox. Fedko digs in at the plate, wide open stance for him. First pitch on the inner part of the plate, strike one. Fedko, the Yukon Husky, hitting .348 for Harwich so far. 3 doubles and a triple. Corrigan, the tall righty, the 0-1. Line drive, shallow right field, incoming Jake Palmer. He'll hold up and it drops in front of him. A leadoff single for Fedko in the second. In off the hands, Fedko just muscles it into right for the first hit of the day for the Mariners, and that brings up Michael Ludwig.
Designated hitter from Wake Forest University, number 13, Michael Ludwig.
Ludwig will hit from the left side out of Wake Forest. He's hitting .308 for the Mariners. Runner on first, nobody down. Top of the second inning. Corrigan sets and deals. First pitch breaking ball laced into left. Noah Campbell racing back on it. He'll leap and it's over his head. Rounding second. Fedko's headed towards third. Campbell relays it back to the infield. Fedko will hold up there. Cruising into second is Ludwig with a double. Back-to-back base hits for Mariners. Put runners on second and third now with nobody out in the top of the second inning.
The catcher from the University
Looked like Campbell might have had a play on it, but couldn't quite make the catch on the leap. Did not start immediately back, and that's the second double of the season for Ludwig. Patrick Winkle to the plate now for Harwich. Nobody down, runners on second and third. Infield still back for YD. The first pitch to the lefty, Winkle, misses outside. Winkle's 2 for 12 so far for the Mariners. Another Yukon prospect. Corrigan from the stretch with the 1-0. Line drive, left field. That's going to get down in front of Campbell. He plays it on a hop. Coming home to score is going to be Fedko, advancing just to third. Ludwig. 3 straight hits to begin the second. Plates a run for the Mariners, and we're even at 1. Runners on the corners, still nobody out.
The third baseman from Kansas State University.
Not a great start for the Red Sox here in the second after they jumped out on front. Harwich able to answer and still going. Plenty of opportunities here with runners on first and third, nobody down.
That is one thing that Corrigan struggled with at ASU, was just getting roughed up a little bit. 51 in the third innings, 56 hits.
First pitch to Cameron Thompson, grounded through the left side. That's 4 straight hits for the Mariners. Crossing home plate will be Ludwig. It's now 2-1, Harwich on top. Runners on first and second as Winkle stays put there. 4 straight hits to begin this second inning, and Corrigan getting hit a bit here in this second inning after a clean first. Back-to-back RBI singles, the bottom of the lineup doing it here for Harwich. Brings Hal Hughes to the plate. The LSU shortstop, 1 for 6 thus far as a Mariner. Corrigan steps off, now he'll retow. Infield a double play depth for YD, playing Hal Hughes to pull. Corrigan deals, misses up. Wells able to reel it in, 1-0 to Hughes. Hughes an even stance from the right side, 5'11", 175. Corrigan peeks to second, now the 1-0. Misses away to Wells. 2 balls, no strikes to Hughes. Hughes playing for LSU, but his dad, Pete Hughes, the head coach at Kansas State. Now the 2-0. Fouled back by Hughes. 2 balls and a strike. Played 52 games this year for LSU. Batted just 177. Battled through a thumb injury at times. 2 balls and a strike to him now. Winkle on second, Thompson on first. Nobody down, 2-1 Harwich. Here's the pitch. Misses upstairs, 3 balls and a strike to Hughes. And YD's going to get somebody up in the bullpen. Four straight hits to begin this second inning for the Mariners against Brady Corrigan on the mound. Still men on first and second, still nobody out. The 3-1. Swing and a miss from Hughes over the top of it, and it's full.
Looks like the righty Adam Jeanette from Mercyhurst College.
Freshly added to the roster today. Trent Denholm, after his great outing last night, was released. He's headed off to Team USA. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Hughes. Misses outside. Now 5 straight have reached, and they're loaded. Top of the order coming up for Harwich. They are threatening for a big inning here in the top of the second.
Yeah, this is one of those innings that's already 2 runs across, already a crooked number, but definitely teetering on what an inning that could ultimately blow this game wide open.
Wells is going to go out and have a visit with Corrigan. It's odd, after such a great first inning for Corrigan, he sat down the top of the order with relative ease. Really struggled to get the bottom half as he'll face Jacob Hurtubise from Army, the military academy. Still nobody out, bases loaded. What do you think the infield here is talking to Corrigan about?
I think if anything, it's just motivation. Realizing that, things might have gotten away just a little bit, but it's okay. Still only a 2-1 deficit right now. Make it work.
Now it looks like Scott Pickler's going to come out to Corrigan. We'll see if Jeanette is ready down the right field line. And here comes Mr. Jeanette in his debut for the YD Red Sox. Corrigan will exit after just 1 inning of work on the mound. 2 runs charged to his name thus far, but all 3 men aboard are under his name as well. Bases are loaded. Harwich on top, 2-1. We'll be back in just a few moments to talk more about the new man on the mound for the YD Red Sox here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We are in the middle of the top of the second inning. It's 2-1 Harwich, and they have the bases loaded, nobody out. Adam Jeanette on the mound in relief of Brady Corrigan, trying to stem the tide here from Harwich in the second inning. Rain continues to fall. Bases are loaded, and the batter at the plate is Jacob Hurtubise. Now, Adam Jeanette out of Mercyhurst College was one of their best men in relief. He led the team in appearances with 19 this year and had 5 saves, making his debut for the Red Sox. We'll see if the stuff translates from Mercyhurst here, so he gets thrown right into the fire. Tall righty, working against Hurtubise. First pitch, two-seam fastball misses away. Ball 1. Nowhere to put Hurtubise. Patrick Winkle on third, Cameron Thompson on second, Hal Hughes on first base for the Mariners. It was 4 straight hits to begin this second inning for Harwich, all against Corrigan, and then a walk to load the bases. The 1-0 misses high and outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Mercyhurst, the Division II program, competes in Division I in a couple sports, mainly ice hockey and also rowing, but Division II and everything else. So from D2 to bases juiced in your Cape League debut.
Not an easy situation, to say the least, for Adam Jeanette. From the stretch, the 2-0. Fastball called strike on the outer edge. 2 balls and a strike to the lefty Hurtubise. Hurtubise walked and was stranded on second base in the first for Harwich. 2-1 Mariners, top of the second. Middle infield stays back for the Red Sox, looking for the double play even with nobody down. Jeanette brings the 2-1. Misses outside, 3 balls and a strike. Really missing arm side, away to the lefty, Hurtubise at the plate. Joey Weimer on deck for the Mariners. 3-1, nowhere to put him. Here's the pitch. Grounded left side. King will charge. He'll step on the first base bag. Fire to first. Wold picks it in time. A double play. 1 run scores. Fine play by King as he backhanded it, took 2 steps to the bag and unleashed a throw and a nice scoop by Wold to get Hurtubise gunning it down the line. So now a man on second, 3-1 Mariners, and it's Weimer at the plate.
That's a huge play in the context of this inning and this game, especially if the rain holds out and we're able to make this an official game, get through the necessary 5 innings, potentially keeping this from only to a 3-run inning instead of a 5, 6, 7-run inning.
Weimer struck out against Corrigan in the first. He takes a first pitch called strike now from Jeanette on the mound. So Hal Hughes is on second. Cameron Thompson was forced out at third. Patrick Winkle crossed the plate for the 3rd run of the frame for the Mariners. They lead it 3-1. Jeanette from the stretch, the 0-1, misses up high to Weimer. A ball and a strike. Dugas holds on his LSU teammate Hughes at second. The 1-1 from Jeanette. Breaking ball inside, and it clips the batter Weimer. He'll jog down to first. Second hit by pitch of the day between the 2 teams, and now men on first and second after Weimer is plunked by Jeanette.
Right fielder from Louisiana State University,
Daniel Cabrera now to the plate. The LSU outfielder, he popped out to Drew Swift in shallow left center in the first inning, already getting his 2nd time through, batting now in the top of the 2nd. Harwich looking to add on to their 3-1 lead. 2 down, Adam Jeanette deals. Fastball down the middle to Cabrera, strike 1. Cabrera has swung it well. That's why he's in the 3 spot so far this season for the Mariners. Had a good year as well at LSU where he hit .286. The 0-1. Grounded back to Jeanette. He leaps and makes the grab. He'll jog an underhand to Wolt, who squeezes it with two hands at first to end the frame. Harwich answers back. They're now on top 3-1 on 4 hits. They leave 2 aboard in the second. 3-1 Harwich through 1.5. This is the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Red Wilson Field. Now a quick word from one of our sponsors. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands area Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game. It's 3-1 Harwich, bottom of the second inning. YD coming to the plate for the second time today. Already the second arm on the mound for the Mariners against Jake Palmer. On the hill, it's Connor McCullough out of Kansas State, the freshman. He spent a semester at Arkansas before transferring to Kansas State.
Now batting,
So he was transfer ineligible during this freshman season, so he did not make an appearance. The righty, first pitch to Palmer, fouled away, third base side, out of play.
Now pitching for Howard.
And you can already tell early in this game, neither manager really wants to burn any arms, have him throw too many pitches. Sure, Corrigan was taken out due to getting into a jam, but I think also Scott Pickler had in mind that you don't want to burn too many arms in case this game does get called before the official 5 innings. People are still available going forward.
0-1 to Palmer is a called strike, and he's quickly down 0-2 to McCullough. McCullough working from the windup against Jake Palmer. Palmer from UC Irvine, 2 for 11 this year. The 0-2. Fastball misses high and away, a ball and 2 strikes. Palmer does have 4 walks. He was often the leadoff man for the Anteaters this season. Today he finds himself in the 6th spot in the order as the rain starts to pick up again. The 1-2. Misses just down low and off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Bit of a standoff there from Winkler and Carey behind home plate. Winkler held that for a long time, wanted that called strike 3.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from McCullough. This time this is outside, and Palmer, after starting 0-2, has worked it back full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Dugas awaits on deck. Then Sam Hall in the 8th spot. Drew Swift will bat should YD extend the inning. The 3-2. Palmer hits it in the air, left field line, racing over for it the left fielder Weimer. He's into foul territory, and he makes the catch. Towards the Red Sox bullpen for the first out here in the bottom of the second. A fly out from Jake Palmer, and there's 1 down.
Number 2, Gavin Dugas.
With 1 down, it's Gavin Dugas now for the Red Sox. He's 0-2, 0-4-2 rather, at the plate for YD this year. Both strikeouts. First pitch misses away to Dugas. 1-0. McCullough making already his 3rd appearance on the mound for Harwich. He has a 2.25 ERA. The 1-0. Fouled off by Dugas. A ball and a strike. All 3 appearances for McCullough are out of the bullpen. Gone 4 total innings on the mound. Most recently, he threw 3 innings against Brewster, the 1-1. Misses away to Dugas, 2 balls and a strike. Have to imagine a guy who just sat out his entire freshman season has to be anxious to get out there on the mound.
Absolutely. Especially on this stage in this setting.
The 2-1, skied by Dugas, back out of play behind home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes now.
It almost serves as an audition sort of for his new head coach at Kansas State. And also a brief introduction to the scouts as he heads into his sophomore campaign.
Here's the 2-2 to Dugas. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Winkle. 3 balls, 2 strikes, as Dugas didn't offer. From the wind, McCullough deals the 3-2. Fouled off by Dugas, off his foot as he hops around now, around home plate. An ever-increasing muddy area around home plate today. The rain continues to fall here at Red Wilson Field. The mound and home plate starting to look a little bit rough. We're in the bottom of the second. First game of a scheduled doubleheader, but the goal, I think, is of everybody to just get 5 in today. Dugas wants time, and he gets it. Another 3-2 upcoming. 1 out, 3-1 Harwich, bottom of the second. The pitch from McCullough. Tapped foul up the first base side. Nubbed off the end of the bat from Dugas. And we'll see another 3-2.
Yeah, you just look at the way that each batter is really having to dig in at home plate. You look at the mud that's starting to gather on the spikes on the underside of their cleats. You can tell that it's really starting to get tacky.
Another 3-2 grounded left side. Knocked down at short by a sliding Hughes. No play at first to get Dugas. A fine stop by Hal Hughes to keep it from scooting into left field, but it will be an infield single for Gavin Dugas, and it's his first hit as a Whitey Red Sox.
Number 12, Sam Hall.
1 out now for Sam Hall, the Clemson utility man, playing center field today for YD. Hall is 2 for 10 with a run thus far in his career here on the Cape Cod League. Hall the righty. McCullough from the stretch for the first time. Sets just below the belt. Kicks and deals. Fouled straight back by Hall. Did that somehow get through the screen here behind home plate?
It sounded like it. I don't know what that landed on, but it definitely sounded like it snuck through somewhere.
There must be a hole in this
Through the facade.
wiring behind home plate. Check on first. Dugas back with the slide. And then it ricocheted off the netting that protects the scouts who sit here behind home plate. That then connects with our press box. Makes me a little more aware here. The 0-1. Breaking ball, a called strike to Hall. And he's down in the count 0-2.
They always say, have your head on a swivel.
After that foul ball, hard to argue. 1 out, Dugas on first. Hall at the plate. The 0-2. Fouled back by Hall. We'll see another 0-2 now from McCullough. In relief already for Caden O'Brien. O'Brien went just 1 inning on the mound, just 1 hit. He gave up 1 run. It was an earned run. No walks, no strikeouts in O'Brien's brief start. Another check on first. Dugas back with a slide. Hall was a top of the order man this year at Clemson. The 0-2. Breaking ball, called strike 3. Catches the inside corner. Hall doesn't think so, but he goes down. First strikeout of the day for the Harwich staff. There's 2 down now in the second.
That was an excellent breaking ball there. Off the right arm of McCullough. Really spun that in there, froze Sam Hall, and it just nicked the inside corner.
Tom Carey has a big zone at the plate. You saw him a few days ago in Falmouth. Now Drew Swift. 2 down, a man on first. First pitch to the Arizona State shortstop. Misses down and outside. A ball and no strikes. First strikeout of the day for the Harwich staff against Hall. This is a pitching staff that has mowed batters down. The 0-1 grounded left side, over for the third baseman Thompson, but it gets by him into left. Dugas racing for third. The throw comes in from the left fielder Weimer. Plenty of time to get Dugas. Trying to go from first to third with 2 outs. He's gunned down for the third out of the frame. It's a base hit for Drew Swift, but we're done here in the second. 3-1 Harwich through 2. This is the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare. Expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care. Top of the third inning, Harwich back at the plate. It's their cleanup hitter, Nico Cavadas, leading off the frame for Harwich after a 3-run second inning, put them on top 3-1. Adam Jeanette in relief for the Red Sox. He came in and was able to put out the fire as he came in with the bases loaded. First pitch to Cavadas, a called strike on the inner half, 0-1. Jeanette entered with the bases loaded, nobody down, and only allowed 1 more run to cross the plate after inducing a double play and then another ground out. Righty from Mercyhurst. The 0-1. Off the plate inside to Cavadas, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, and in the context of this game, it could really end up being a very, very pivotal moment to keep it to just 3 runs in the frame with bases loaded, nobody out. To only allow 1 more run to come across is excellent.
1-1 count to Cavadas. Here's the pitch from Jeanette. Fouled back off the mid of Wells, a ball and 2 strikes. Especially looking at this rain, you don't know how long we're going to be playing today. Already a shortened game for the doubleheader, a 7-inning game. But the goal right now for everybody, I think, is to get to inning number 5, make this a complete game. Here's the 1-2. Off the plate inside, and it got a piece of Cavadas. On the foot, third hit batsman today between the 2 sides. Second Mariner that gets nicked by a pitch. And Cavadas is aboard. Third time today in 3 innings, Harwich has had their leadoff man on.
And as the mound and home plate continue to take a beating, Adam Jeanette there working with what is ultimately kind of forming a clay-like consistency there on the mound in his landing spot, trying to get it right so that he feels comfortable delivering pitches.
Light rain coming down outside at the moment. We saw it a little bit heavier even around first pitch. Steady diet of rain expected throughout the rest of today. Now Christian Fedko at the plate. First pitch called strike, 0-1. Fedko singled and scored. He led off the second inning with a single to right field. Scored the first of the 3 Mariner runs. Jeanette from the stretch. The 0-1. Grounded left side, foul ball. 0-2 now to Fedko. Cavadas on first after being hit by a pitch. Jeanette, the tall 6'5" righty, stands on the mound staring in at Christian Fedko. Already induced one double play ball today, looking for number 2. Nobody down top of the third. Harwich on top 3-1. The 0-2. Misses outside. A ball and 2 strikes. Infield straight away for Fedko. Outfield maybe playing him to pull a hair. Hall shaded into left center. Cavadas, a good-sized lead at first. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled off again by Fedko. He went down after it that time. And we'll see another 1-2 from Jeanette. Jeanette sure gets a lot of movement on that fastball, Andre. Really a sinker. Probably why he got a couple ground balls quickly in his first time out there.
Yeah, and it also explains why he had the success that he did at Mercyhurst. This is a guy that has a lot of life on his fastball and his off-speed pitches as well. And we've seen it. A lot of soft contact early in this outing, his debut outing. Good first impression for Scott Pickler and company for a team that's looking for some stability out of the bullpen, a guy that can come in and reliably get outs.
The 1-2 misses down and away, and it squeaks past Austin Wells. Cavadas going to move up to second as Wells will retrieve it from the screen. It was a pitch low and away to Fedko that Wells tried to stab with the glove. Second time one has gotten past Wells, allowing a runner to advance up to second base today, and now Cavadas in scoring position with nobody down.
It also proves costly as it eliminates the double play for Jeanette on the mound. It's going to have to work a little bit harder to get through this half inning.
Now Drew Swift moves over into the hole at shortstop. Dugas going to hold Cavadas at second. Jeanette sets on the mound, looks at second. The 2-2. Grounded foul again. Fedko battling with 2 strikes. Still 2-2.
Talented family, the Fedko family. TJ Mathewson, our third broadcaster, and I were wondering pregame as we were going through pronunciations. We had a sort of a deja vu moment. We're like, wait a second, didn't we just see Fedko? We were thinking, did he get released and then picked up? And Harwich broadcaster Tyler Henry, a friend of ours, said, nope, that would be his brother playing for Bourne this season. So not one but 2 Fedkos here on the Cape Cod this summer.
Both play for UConn during the spring ball season. His brother last night went 0 for 3. The 2-2. Breaking ball just misses Christian Fedko at the plate. He has to dodge out of the way of the breaking ball. Now the count is full with nobody down. Already having more success than his brother today. He's 1 for 1 with a run. Kyler Fedko went 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Although nobody in that Bourne lineup had much success last night in the 2-hit shutout between Trent Denholm and John Beller. 3-2 count to Fedko. The pitch. Grounded back up the middle. It hits Jeanette. Swift will field it at short. Throw on the run. Will the stretch in time. Nicked off the leg of Adam Jeanette. He'll go for a walk around the mound. As the umpires are going to do a quick check of him and now actually have a conversation. A man on third, 1 out for Harwich. Conversation between the umpires just in front of the mound now.
And they are calling it. They just gave the signal.
We currently sit in the top of the third inning. A man on third, 1 out. 3-1 Harwich leads. And it looks like the rain might be starting to pick up a bit on Red Wilson Field. So we're going to step aside as we'll have a short rain delay. Not sure what the next steps will be. We're expected to see rain throughout this entire day. Managers are shaking hands. We'll get you more information in a moment. Follow along on our social media as well at YD_Red Sox on Twitter. We'll hope to get you another update here as soon as we know it. Currently, Harwich leads 3-1 in the third. This is the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. back at Red Wilson Field, and looks like we're done with baseball for the day, folks. The umpires have called it. We were in the top of the third inning, Andre, before it really looked like that pitcher's mound started to get ugly out there, mucky around both home plate and the pitcher's mound, and the rain is starting to come down harder, and it's only expected to get worse.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, above all else, it's a safety issue, and we saw Jeanette on the mound digging in there every at-bat, fixing his landing spot, adjusting the dirt around the rubber, and you just don't want someone rolling an ankle, landing wrong, injuring an arm because you land wrong. It's not worth getting a game in if you're going to risk injury. So ultimately, is it frustrating? Yes. Is it frustrating to see even more games lost due to weather early on in this season? Yes. But you can't risk these players' safety for the sake of trying to get the game in.
Looks like everybody's trying to figure out the schedule moving forward, as this is a doubleheader now that got canned. Already one of these games was a makeup game. Now we're going to have two makeup games against Harwich. Of course, these two teams meet tomorrow as the Red Sox travel to Harwich and White House Field to do battle in what should hopefully be a full game. We're hoping for better weather tomorrow and what's scheduled for a 6:30 start from Harwich. Andre, rough one today that we couldn't get it in, and just unfortunate weather so far in this season. We just talked with Steve Foucher, general manager of the Red Sox. At some point, it feels like they're going to have to start playing in some rain, and the fields are just going to have to be able to take this weather because there's not enough days in the season for all these cancellations.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, especially where it really is going to be to put to the test the quality of these fields, and we've already seen some games get called on good days, good weather days, due to the fact that the field doesn't drain properly. So some work is going to have to be done organizationally across the Cape to make sure that these fields are in the absolute best condition that they can be day in and day out, so we don't end up losing even more games.
Because at this point, the next upcoming off day for the Red Sox is July 15th. Not including this coming Thursday, but that's because everybody's headed to Fenway. In the meantime, there are makeup games on almost every day over the next 2 weeks up until the 8th and then the 15th. There are currently off days sitting for the Red Sox, but who knows what Harwich already has to make up. We don't know their schedule down to it. But that's going to do it for baseball today at Red Wilson Field. Hopefully, we'll have you Harwich and Red Sox baseball tomorrow. That'll be in Harwich. Hope you can join us then on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at YD_Red Sox as well for more updates throughout the season. For Andre Sims, I'm Brian McLaughlin, signing off from a partial day of baseball here at Red Wilson Field.